I started Celeste thinking it'd be a chill little platformer, jump around, grab a few berries, maybe cry once or twice, nothing I couldn't handle. What I didn't expect was a mountain with trust issues, a mirror that hates me, and a goth version of myself trying to ruin my life. Whether I made it out or not, that's another story. Here's how it went. As with any game, you start off by choosing a name, which I kinda had trouble with. Brilliant. I might have hit my head before this playthrough because it took me a little while to understand that if you do something 5 times and it doesn't work, it's probably not going to work the 6th time. After that little embarrassing stunt, I proceeded to come across an old lady that might have had a few screws loose. Woo! Oh my god. Oh, what the fuck just happened? Thanks to that little encounter, I learned a new ability, and probably the most useful, dashing. It took a bit of getting used to, but I got the hang of it eventually. In the second room, I ended up getting my very first berry. First of many, may I add, and I was already stuck. Although the third room might seem simple, it relies on a core element of the game, climbing, which I somehow managed to forget about within 2 minutes after getting taught it. Having a bit of a crisis, I figured it out, even without the climbing ability. But soon enough, not having that ability in mind would make a certain segment quite difficult. Ignoring the inevitable doom that's about to come, I started to get the hang of things. Passing through these levels no problem. 2 things I should mention is a green crystal and a traffic light platform. The green crystal resets your dash and the traffic light goes in a predetermined direction whenever you are on it. And here we are, the point where climbing was essential. After numerous attempts of the same exact jump, thinking that God was going to come down and was going to finish the level for me if I just showed how slow and desperate I am, it dawned on me. Oh wait, I can climb! Totally forgot about that. After that lesson, I started getting a bit of momentum and was beating the levels quite quickly and learned another trick, momentum. It's when you jump just at the right time to carry the momentum that the moving platform gives you. And just like that, the icy level was done. I ended up finding a memorial that was dedicated to those who aren't as good as me and tried to climb the mountain anyway. And since the story forced me, I ended up taking a little siesta at the campfire. Waking back up with fire having changed colors, a little weird if you ask me, I continued on my journey to the summit. Going through the spikes of hell to get the mirror I spotted with, goggles, I ended up dying way too many times, even though the jumps were honestly simple. But it doesn't matter since I was able to get to it. I see myself now, I'm not the skeptical type, but this mirror seems a little funky, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I got my colors right. And suddenly the purple version of me escaped. Since I don't condone identity thievery, I quickly set myself on the chase. But before that, I had to take my schizophrenia pills because I wasn't sure if any of this was real. Going through the magical galaxy platforms that now decided to be helpful, leading me towards the way out. And on the way out, I found my doppelganger, also known as a goth baddie. I'm not too familiar with this type of human since I've never interacted with one before. She low-key started chasing me and trying to kill me. I don't know how she knew I was into that kind of thing, but I'm not gonna complain. I got stuck at a level where you have to get all these things without dying so that you can open this thing. After a bit of trial and error, I got it. I was able to leave. Until the goth baddie cloned herself. Now I'm not the type of person to complain of getting a juicy steak, but they seem like they wanted to kill me. I don't know why, just couldn't put my finger on it. Over time, the course of this chase, the levels were getting harder and harder, and she was multiplying at an alarming rate. Exiting the temple, she decided to vanish, just when I needed her most.
Needed him most? He disappear.
But my longing for a goth baddie stayed. Going further right, I found a payphone, in which a call came in. Hello? Is this for me or you? From my power of deduction, I think it's my toxic ex. Oh, you're back! Oh, how I've missed you dearly. I didn't know goth baddies had this power, but she turned the telephone pole into a monster, and then I died. Kidding, it was just a dream. And now we know why the fire was green. And I'm such a good storyteller. Turns out the temple was simple, but the telephone pole did in fact exist, which I kinda found weird but didn't think much of it. And the second chapter ended with a nice chat with mom. Chapter 3 starts off slow, with a path covered in some weird substance, which I would assume if you touch, you die. The first obstacle wasn't so bad. After getting the key for the locked door, I met the hotel manager of this fine establishment, Mr. Oshiro, which just so happens to be a ghost. After persuading me to follow him through whatever the fuck this is, I felt pretty confident. I mean, it doesn't seem that bad. I'm not gonna lie, this might have been the level I hated the most out of the entire game. I don't know why, I just did not enjoy the experience of this hotel. It might have had something to do with me being horrible at the game, but that is kind of besides the point. Coming across another locked door, I had to find another key, which I presumed to be above, and honestly the path to the key wasn't as hard as it looked. Took a few tries, but we got it in the end. On the next level, I came across a new thing, these little tentacle boys, which is pretty easy to understand what they do just by watching. Go, jump, yes, okay. Fuck. After a bit of hassle, I got to Mr. Oshiro. He emphasized that the elevator was close. I got so excited to hear that this level was gonna end soon, I ended up killing myself. The level started to get harder and harder, almost like if that was a huge premise of the genre. This room may not seem that hard, but to someone with a similar intellect of a rat, it was. I ended up having to find Mr. Oshiro within the huge mess in all of this room, and Oshiro's anxiety attack gave me a new mission. Just a little sprinkling. Yo, what are you talking about? This entire room is a mess. No, I'm not doing this shit. Clear all the clutter out. Surely this won't be too hard. Just for context, the clutter is separated into 3 groups, and each of them get cleared up by pressing their corresponding buttons. The first section of the new mini mission wasn't as hard as the previous rooms. I even had the courage to get a berry on my way to the button. Huh. Oh my god. Yo, I'm actually so clean. After clearing the first clutter, I set my sights on the second one. I found a guy that goes by the name of Theo. He seems pretty chill and sees the world for what it actually is, unlike some other weirdo. At first glance, I thought the second section would be a horrifying experience because of all the moving obstacles. But it was honestly pretty easy, easier than the first one even.
Oh yeah, Victor comes to the rescue.
Yo, what is wrong with me? The third section wasn't so bad either. A few tries here and there and it got pretty easy to get used to. I got this. This isn't that hard. Go down, jump. Yup. I almost just shot myself. And I finally leave after this one, bro. Boom. Surely after I drop down here, it's done, right? All that effort, and what does he reward me with? A broken elevator. Truly a 5-star experience. After I caught up with Oshiro, the game lets you on a little secret. He was the one spewing all this red substance. Oh, so it was you? Oh my god. It probably has something to do with your anxiety and personality disorder. But I won't question it. Even though I just did. Alright, watch me do this on first try. It's all about time. And after a few more obstacles, I found a door to the room, which is locked by the way. Thankfully the key wasn't that hard to get. To my surprise, it wasn't the door to the room, but one of the worst experiences I have ever had in this game. This section took way more tries than it should have. It might have had something to do with the tears blurring my vision. God. However, ignoring that, I did eventually make it. What did I think? I think it's pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of ass, really. Oshiro was kind of having a crisis because I didn't want to stay in this hotel, but I was too nice to say anything.
Oh, God, buddy! Yes! Save me! Please.
Oh my god. Oh. Thankfully, the goth baddie ripped Mr. Oshiro a new one, and I was able to leave. But is life that easy? No. No it isn't. So Mr. Oshiro takes it upon himself to spread my blood all over his roof.
Yo, that wasn't me! Yo, that wasn't me! Yo, what's your problem? I helped you!
As long as I kept dashing upwards as he came, I was fine. Yeah, come again. Yeah, it's actually pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. Let's just bitch ass up.
Thank you.
Eventually, his rampage does end with him breaking some hotel. Maybe that could give him something to think about how he acted. Please just leave me. Leave me alone. What? No. There's no way you just fucking said that. I've been trying to leave you alone since the. And so on, I moved on to chapter 4, which started off as any other chapter. It introduced a few new things that are pretty easy to understand, and taking step by step, I was able to go past any obstacle pretty easily. After a little casual dip in water that is probably a solid negative 20 degrees, I found the granny. Kinda shameful how she made it here before me, but we'll ignore that for now. I personally started to think that she was crazy. I mean, half the shit she said didn't even make sense. Once we we wrapped up our little talk, the game showed me just how well it was going to take me from behind. I can already imagine the dev blasting this shit to the max and making me fly off the top of the mountain. As common sense would have it, this made even the simplest jumps harder than it should be, but I prevailed.
Come on. Come on. Oh, wait, I don't have my dash. Fuck. Yo.
I ended up having a little break in between the wind levels, with a few bubbles and clouds.
Oh. What?
And here's what I was afraid of, the wind getting stronger. For now the obstacles were easy to get used to, even with the wind being involved. But as time goes on, it'll only get more and more intense. I was thankfully able to brute force my way through this one, but sadly it'll be the only one I could do that with. As if it wasn't enough, another aspect was introduced. These blocks are frankly quite simple. Once you touch it, it goes in the direction of the arrow, but you modify this direction by pressing the button. Oh, and it breaks when it gets blocked. See, I didn't know I could modify the direction of the block for a while, so I was stuck on this level for the longest time. I ended up taking a break from it and decided to go on another path, which thankfully forced me to learn the said mechanic. Oh, bro, I didn't know that. I started to make a lot more progress and a lot faster thanks to this new trick. Everything started to click, honestly. The paths were also getting clearer, my handling on the controller was getting better, so I wasn't doing any dashes into the directions I obviously did not want to go to. At least for the most part. The game realizes the progress and thought I was getting cocky. Getting closer and closer to the end of the chapter, as I foretold, the wind was getting stronger, nearly making it impossible to go forward.
What is that? Oh, there's snowballs now. Yo, what is this game even on, bro? It's actually not too hard.
And I finally made it to the gondola. A little surprise showed up as I was about to go up. Theo! Obviously, you can't have good things in this world, and the goth baddie decided to enforce that lesson upon us. Theo, being a little goofball, stranded us 1,000 feet off the ground. So I realized that I was having a panic attack, and the sides were getting darker and darker, as if the world around me was blurring out in my thoughts. But Theo let me on a little secret, thinking of a feather floating up and down with each breath, helping me to calm down and getting us to the end of the magical gondola ride, ending the chapter with a nice selfie after I was taking a detour to see God. My boy Theo, with his Instapix fame, needed to get the best shot, so he went in alone. I mean, I couldn't argue with that. Winner's gotta win. I respect the grind. I ended up going in right behind him though. This new aspect is pretty easy to familiarize with. Whenever you dash, it moves. I ended up finding Theo's phone on the ground next to a mirror. Thankfully, I didn't panic this time. And after that little discovery, I entered a room with a bunch of red bubbles. There's obviously some sort of puzzle here to find a key for this door, but I didn't know where to start. After being stuck for nearly 1 hour in one room, I decided to think deeply within myself to find a solution to this maze. So through divine intervention, I was able to get the key and unlock the door. On the other side was Theo. Well, kind of. He was in a mirror of some sort. Apparently he got sucked in when he was taking a selfie. After a bit of exploring within the darkness, I found my next goal, which was another key. It didn't take much to find it, to be honest. Just a bit of looking around. Actually getting it was another story. I had to go all the way around and drop down to get it. Luckily, I actually started getting good at the game. And if it wasn't obvious, I lied. It isn't all bad though. I got it in the end. I was able to open the door. This was probably one of my favorite sections of the entire game that was coming up. It started off with the magic mirror behind this big reveal. Ooh, what are you?
Oh, this can be good.
Kind of feels nice actually. The game puts you one of the monsters that is going to be chasing you. A little spoiler, teaching you their weaknesses and what you're going to use them for. Oh, and also that they're going to kill you. From what I understood, the mountain separated me and the goth baddie, and this is their dungeon. The dungeon's obstacles were quite simple, until introduced the boys. It made even the simplest task quite hard. Thankfully, for the same reason that the humans are on top of the food chain, I adapted, and quite quickly, may I add. I was able to enter the next stage, which I was pretty sure involved the Green Railway. Before I started jumping all over the place, I made sure to explore a little and light up as many torches as I can, so that I can get a better understanding of what I'm supposed to do. It was pretty clear what I had to do. There's 2 blocks with keyholes that are blocking the Green Railway, and 2 keys. Putting one to one together, I got en route to the first key, and it was going pretty well. A few hiccups along the way, but nothing I got stuck over. And with one of the blocks unlocked, there was only one more to go. The path to the second key was pretty dark, which made it way harder. My brain being delayed by 2 seconds was also a problem, but we got through it.
Holy shit. Yes!
Oh my god, I actually did it. This next bit was a bit complicated. At least I made it more complicated than it should be. I ended up overthinking the solution, which made me die multiple times. So I tried something else. And would you look at that? It worked on the first try. Truly a shocker. So I got the key and unlocked the next block. Finally, was able to take the red bubble to absolutely nowhere. I don't know how, but I somehow completed this level way faster than I thought I would. My only trouble was trying to get this guy to break this block. And I can't count the amount of tries this shit took me. I ended up spam killing the motherfucker before I was able to get him to break a single block. And oh, did that feel good. But not all good things last. So I locked in and finally got it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! Oh my god. Oh! Holy shit. And as a reward, I found Theo, my pride and joy. As you can imagine, this next bit is going to be me trying to avoid these guys while carrying Theo. I thought I could hit the monster with Theo, and perhaps get the same effect as me jumping on him. But sadly that wasn't the case. It's not all bad though. Instead of killing it, it knocks it back, which is better than nothing. While traversing the similar style rooms, I realized that Theo can still interact with objects in the room. I also realized something else that became very important knowledge. Theo can die, and as much as I hate to admit it, that incident happened more than once. Oh fuck, Theo, don't die. You bitch! Okay, that one wasn't my fault. Okay. As it progressed, the room started implementing more and more steps for each completion, even putting in a second boy as if one wasn't enough. The closer I got to finishing this chapter of the story, the more intense it got, as if something was trying to stop me from doing so. Slowing me down so much, I started throwing Theo forward to get a speed boost. Finally, finding the entity that was behind all of this, I threw Theo, killing the monster and saving Theo. After that little traumatizing experience, Theo and I took a little break and started talking about our past experiences and what led us to climbing this mountain, ending the conversation off with a cute selfie. I went to sleep and started dreaming again. I'm not sure how far I went up with these feathers, but I did go high enough so that gravity doesn't affect me anymore, which might be impossible since it's a dream, and my reflection decided to show up. So we got to talking, and I think I kind of made her sad, saying that she was everything I needed to leave behind, and maybe a little mad. Thankfully, I got the little feather technique to keep me focused and calm. Oh, never mind. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Breaking through an entire layer of stone, I fell all the way to the bottom and then some. How am I not dead? Don't question it. Oh, water saved me. Right. Minecraft logic, right? Forgot about that. Unsure of where to go, I decided to go under the platform with the water. I found this guy. He almost killed me, but we good. He's chill. A lot of the next few levels were designed around the feather, which I found pretty cool, although sometimes it was a little painful more than anything. Thankfully, the feather levels didn't last for long. The next bit was centered around the blue boys. And with that, more blue boys were introduced, which are essentially the green crystals, but you bounce off of them. Over time, the levels that include these things started getting more and more meticulous, and then ended by switching it up entirely and made them as an obstacle instead of a platform to help you get through the level. A few more tries and I got through it just in time to meet up with the granny. She ended up giving me pretty good advice, saying how I should talk to GB and that she is scared. So I set on a chase of finding my counterpart, which was pretty easy since she had aura leading me straight to her. The obstacles weren't so bad either. Taking an expressway, I got to her pretty quickly and said family should stick together. She was hesitant, but touching her seemed to persuade her more and more. That sounds a little weird in context. Realizing the little balls weren't enough, she started to pull out a lace out of her ass. Of course, nothing I couldn't handle. Except for the time I couldn't handle it, but since I'm the one editing the video, you will never truly know how many tries this took. This went on for a while, by the way. I think I had to dash into her like at least 25 times before she succumbed to my tender hands. It felt weird saying that. Seeing that the physical damage wasn't enough, she decided to try emotional damage instead, which had even less effect, but eventually she saw that I would stop at nothing to touch. I'ma end that there. The bit is done now. After getting her to calm down, I understood that she thought I wanted to go away even though I'd been chasing her all this time, talking some sense to her and saying that I need her as much as she needed me, and so with a simple hug, the goth baddie and I fused into one, now having 2 dashes instead of 1, which didn't change much since levels are going to be designed for 2 dashes instead of 1 now, but I won't ruin the immersion. Having done a little power play, everyone gathered here, even Theo. That's what I'm saying. God, Theo, bright men think alike, am I right? Getting a little pep talk from Granny, I handed my Gucci bag to Theo and set on the route. Starting off on an easy path. Oh boy. Chapter 7 is essentially all the levels I've done so far, all mashed up into one little chapter. So as you can imagine, getting used to them was even easier than before. Breezing past each of the levels thanks to the help of my new GB assistant. After a little bit more teamwork, we started building a relationship. Don't get me wrong, I still ended up being stuck multiple times, mainly because the GB started griefing a little going left and right instead of going up, which is the entire point of this, but I wasn't going to tell her that, she's a little sensitive. Slowly but surely we were getting through the levels, getting closer and closer to the summit, except for when I got completely stuck on this specific level, but wanting to finish this, I persevered, and the goth baddie started agreeing with me. Getting to a point where a countdown was happening with every checkpoint, I understood just how close I was, got a little sidetracked and found a weird room with a bunch of interesting looking crystals, probably some sort of side quest I had yet to complete. Ignoring that, I started blasting through these checkpoints quickly, exiting the 20s and then exiting the double digits. After the 5th checkpoint, things started getting a little easier. And thanks to that last push, I got to the last checkpoint, just a few more steps away from the summit. And with that, I climbed the damn mountain. Depression conquered, anxiety tamed, goth baddie bagged, and that's what Celeste is all about. Thanks for watching this far. If there's a game you'd love to see that I haven't covered yet, drop it in the comments. I love to hear suggestions. And don't forget to like and subscribe.